to 1812 Pizza in downtown Paragould, historic downtown Paragould. And we are excited to kick off the 2025 fall sports season at Paragould High School with our coaches show. And this afternoon and evening, we're going to visit with our coaches of our golf team, our tennis team, volleyball, and football. And we're going to get an idea of what lies ahead for Ram Athletics this fall and visit with the coaches and some of our student athletes. And we're going to have a great time. And if somebody happens to be watching, come on down and join us. Got a great crowd here this afternoon, and we're really excited about kicking off our 5th year here on the Paragould Rams Sports Network. That's really difficult to believe, but time gets away from us. So, again, we're really excited. We're going to start the program off this afternoon with our golf team. And, of course, our head golf coach at Paragould High School is Coach Jace Watson. And Jace has with him this afternoon 3 of our student athletes, Alec Watson, J.D. Honeycutt, and Shane Abbott. And welcome, guys. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon. And it's hard to believe, but golf season is here, and we're going to turn it over to Coach Watson. He's talk a little bit about your squads this year, both the boys and the girls, and kind of what that looks like, and what your thoughts are about them.
Well, I'll start first with the guys here. We got a young team. We got 1 senior, and the rest are freshmen and sophomores. So we're a little bit young, but got some talent, which is always a good thing. And some of those guys are going to learn, when they're young, how to be thrown in the fire, which will be good. It'll be good. They're embracing the challenge. We've actually already played 2 tournaments this week, so we've already got started. They've done well. It's not golf. High school golf isn't like your ordinary golf you see out at the golf course. And we play the ball down. You don't ever get to touch it. You have to put everything out. No mulligans off the tee. Yep. None of that stuff. You got to count every stroke. And we've competed well. We finished 2nd yesterday at Batesville, and I'm looking forward to it. They've got a good chance, I think, to qualify as a team this year for state tournament, which is a big deal. So. Yeah.
So you've got how many boys on the squad this year?
I've got 7 total on the squad. These 3 here I got with me, and plus we've got Dalton Bass. He's a returner, a sophomore, and Nathan Baker is a freshman coming in. He's had 2 good rounds for him to start the year. And then Carson Dixon and Kynan Lamb are also playing as well. So we got a good squad, and we're looking forward to seeing what we can do this year. Like I said, we've had a good start, and I think that this team has a chance to do something at state level. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. How about our girls this year?
In girls, we've got 2 playing. Ava Anderson, she's a sophomore. It's her 2nd year playing, and the amount of improvement is unreal in her. And just the 2nd year, she has really played well her first 2 matches. And then Haley Dinkins is my other one, and she's a freshman. She's just getting started, and it's like I told them, if you'll start your freshman year, it makes it a whole lot easier. And by the time they become juniors and seniors, they're really competing well. And so I'm excited to see what them 2 can do as well.
What does your district look like this year?
Conference-wise, it's probably a lot like last year. We finished 4th, which was 1 shot out of state, but Greene County Tech's got a really good team returning, and so they're going to be really tough. Valley View always has a good team, and Searcy is they are most year in year out always there competing as well, and then really everybody in our conference has a good chance. I think we will be able to compete for that 2nd or 3rd spot. I'm hoping so. We'll wait and see. So.
Well, you said you've already gotten started. You played yesterday over in Batesville. You said, what does the schedule look like, and do we have some upcoming home matches, and what if some folks want to come out and kind of check it out at the country club?
Yes, we actually have 1 more tournament before school starts. That'll be Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at Ridge Point Country Club. We start there at 9 o'clock, and then once school gets started, we usually play a couple matches a week. We have some home matches coming up. I think the first one may be the 15th, 17th, something like that. I can't remember without it in front of me, but we play out at Paragould Country Club. That's where we play our home matches, and they are open to the public to come out and watch. So
awesome. Well, good luck this season. It's going to be, like I said, you've got a young bunch, but I think they're eager.
Yes, they are.
We're going to take a couple of minutes here and visit with some of our student athletes that joined us this afternoon, and we'll start off with Alec Watson. Alec, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell everybody a little bit about you, what year you're in, and maybe just a little bit about your golf game. What are your strengths? What are some of the things that you're trying to work on a little bit?
So I'm Alec. I'm a senior. This is my fourth year playing. I started as a freshman. Had a rocky start. Got better over the years. But this year I'm thinking it's probably a year to show out, kind of catch some eyes of some colleges, maybe hopefully go play at the collegiate level.
Awesome.
But right now I think my main focus right now, I think I need to work on short game, putting, getting everything close so I don't have to worry about any long, difficult shots that I need to take. Just keep everything safe. We have a match coming up, Ridgepoint Country Club, and that'll be it's fairly difficult, so hopefully score well there.
What is one of the area courses that you're favorite to play on?
I guess not being biased, but PCC is probably one of my favorite. I play it all the time, and just the greens easy to work with. Fairways are pretty open compared to like some other places we'll play. I mean, Sage is the most wide open we'll probably play, but aside from that, PCC.
What is your expectation for how the team can do this year?
I think we've got a pretty good group this year. We've got 4 pretty dangerous players, so us 3, and then Nathan, like he was saying, shot pretty good. And then JD, he's going to be pretty dangerous this year too. Shot 80 yesterday, I think.
Yes.
And so I think we're going to do pretty good. And with districts being at Paragould Country Club, I think we're going to have a pretty good chance to get there and score well.
Yeah, it's always an advantage to have the home course in
Absolutely.
your district.
The only unfortunate thing, Greene County Tech plays there too, so I guess we both have home court advantage.
Yeah.
You don't usually see that, 2 teams with home court advantage.
Well, that's true, but maybe sometimes Jonesboro's had that.
Oh, yes,
definitely.
definitely.
As well. Well, Alec, thanks. Good luck this year. It's going to be fun to watch you guys and see how you progress, and hopefully you can make your way to the state tournament and get our name up in the winner's circle. That'd be awesome.
Hopefully so.
Absolutely. Next, we're going to visit with Shane Abbott. Shane, welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your year, and a little bit about your golf game.
I'm Shane Abbott. I'm a sophomore, and I don't really hit it that far, but for the most part, I keep it in the fairway. I got pretty good short game. But that's about it.
What is something that you think is your area of most need to work on?
Mostly speed. If I could get a little more speed and some distance, it'd be a lot better.
Do you guys know, I was going to ask you this too, favorite equipment? Do you guys – golf has really turned into an equipment sport. I mean, back when I played in high school, it wasn't near the buzz that it is now.
It is now.
You know, back when we had persimmon drivers and that sort of thing, that's kind of gone by the wayside. But you know, the golf technology has just gone crazy.
Right. Probably my wedges.
Well, what type of wedges do you play? That's
Cleveland wedges.
There you go.
There you go. Cool.
My 60 degree is my favorite for sure.
And put a little spin on it. Yeah, very good, very good. What is your expectations for the team this year?
I think we have a really good shot at making it to the state, especially with district being at our home course.
And who do you think will be some of the stiffest competition?
Probably Searcy. Searcy's up there for sure. Valley View maybe.
Yep. Those schools have always, because they've got really good courses in their hometowns, and they've always done well.
Yes, they have.
They've got a good young youth program, and they've been difficult to beat. So sounds like we're going to be really competitive with them this year. It's going to be fun to watch. So appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. Best of luck. It's going to be fun to watch you guys. And if you will, just hand it off to JD. And our third student athlete with us is JD Honeycutt. JD, welcome. Thanks for spending some time with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Tell everyone just a little bit about yourself, your year, and maybe a little bit about your golf game.
I'm JD Honeycutt, and I'm a freshman. And probably the best part of my game is probably my irons, I would say, or my 3-wood, 5-wood. So, yeah, that's about it.
One of the questions that I asked the other guys, what's your favorite course to play in some of the ones that you played on?
Probably PCC, Paragould Country Club. It's a really good course. It's a home course. I played it for about 3 years now, so I'm really used to it.
What's the favorite part about the course?
Probably their greens. Their greens are really good bent greens. They're different than Bermuda, but they're overall really good greens in the summertime.
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy, that one kind of surprised me. He got to play the old course at St. Andrews a few weeks ago.
Now
I thought that might be his favorite.
That is, yeah, that's big. If you're going to put PCC over the old course, that is the folks out there will love you. There's
Yes.
no doubt about it. What was that experience like to go over there and play over there?
Oh, it was amazing. We watched the British Open, the Scottish Open also. So, old course, it was amazing. Great experience. Also played the new course 2 days before, so it was also a really good course to play. So, yeah.
Is it like what it looks like on TV?
Yes.
Because it looks like, and it's just
Immaculate.
Immaculate, and there's some traps that you don't ever see until you get to it, like holes in the ground, if you will. And
Definitely, yes.
And I would think that they keep that in pristine.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Pristine condition over there. Well, that's a great experience. So, congratulations on that. What's your expectations for our team this year?
To definitely make it to state. I think we have a really good chance of making it, especially getting second in the last tournament we just played in. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, good luck to you. Appreciate you all spending some time with us this afternoon as we kick off our 2025 Coaches Show here. And to all the Ram fans that are out there, I'm sure you can keep up with our schedule on our social media.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
when the tournaments are, and if we've got a home tournament, take a little time and go out and watch some of these guys knock it around PCC and put a few birdies on the card for us.
Right.
So, guys, good luck. Have a great year. We'll be looking forward to watching you play.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a break, and next we're going to talk a little Paragould High School tennis. So stay with us here on the Paragould Rams Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the Paragould High School Fall 2025 Coaches Show. As we roll on, we're going to talk a little Paragould High School tennis now, and we have our tennis coach with us, McKenna Timmons. McKenna, welcome. And we're excited about school starting here next week, and that means tennis season is pretty much right here. And what we'd like to do is just introduce yourself a little bit and talk a little bit about our boys and girls tennis squads, and mention some of the students and kind of what your expectations are for it.
Yeah. So this is my second year doing tennis. We have 14 girls on our tennis team. Yeah, and there's only 3 boys this year. I think that'll be a challenge for us, but we've been practicing in the summer and working hard, and I think we're going to have a good season.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit about some of the student athletes. We'll start with the girls and mention them and maybe what year that they're in school and so forth.
So I have a couple seniors. One has been on tennis throughout her high school. Her name's Emma Watson.
Okay.
And then we have Ashley. She's first year this year that she is a senior. And then I have some that are moving up that have been with me for a few years. Leona Hickman is one of them over here.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Maddie Goldsmith, Elle Wellstead, Aubrey Flezar. So, yeah, I have some good girls that are returning to me.
What do you think are some of the strengths of that group?
I think that they're really good at playing to their opponent and watching the ball and really making moves based on their opponent's weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And, it's been really hot in Paragould for obviously all summer. But I'm assuming that they've been out in the heat some and gotten acclimated to that. And
yeah, we've had some early morning practices to try and keep them cooled off. But, yeah, it's been really hot.
Yeah, it has. Talk a little bit about the boys. You mentioned you only got 3 boys on the team this year. That's probably about as low as I can remember it for a while.
Yeah.
But talk about them.
Yeah, they're doing good. I have 2 new ones, and one is a senior, Joe Pillow, and he's been with me both years that I've been coaching tennis. And, I'm excited. They're all doing really good so far, especially the new ones. I am hoping to still maybe recruit some. I know I've had a foreign exchange student reach out to me, so hopefully we can get some more boys on the team.
Cool. What about the district and some of the teams that we play in this year? You obviously got a chance to get familiar with some of the other schools and their strengths. What are some of these schools that you think will be real challenging to play in our league this year?
Yeah, Cersei, they're always really competitive. They have some good kiddos. Mountain Home, they always have a few really good ones. Valley View, those are probably our biggest competitors.
Here's a question just for you. What is the most enjoyable part to you about being the tennis coach?
Oh, I love just watching the kids grow and learn and just have fun and let loose. When I played tennis in high school, I know it was just a relief sport for me. I would love to just go out there and just hit balls, and it just really was a stress reliever for me, and I want it to be that for the kids too.
Do you have a group of kids that are, everybody varies in this, but the competitive spirit? Do we have some folks that are really in it to win?
Yes, we definitely do, yeah. I always make sure they have good sportsmanship, but I do have some that are really competitive.
That's cool. And what's your expectation for success this year?
I would say don't give up, work hard, keep going even when you fail, Yeah.
Stay with it. You got to
stay with it, yeah.
Forget that last shot if it's not a good one and worry about the next one and so forth. Yeah. Well, thanks for spending some time with us, and we're glad to have you, and it's going to be fun to watch you guys progress. And, again, we talked about this with the golf team, but usually the tennis schedule is available on our social media. So if we've got a home match, I'm sure you would encourage some of our supporters to come out and watch and support the student athletes.
We would love anybody who wants to come out and watch our matches to come out. They all start at 4 o'clock, typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we would love anybody to come out and support.
when's the first match start? Have y'all started yet?
No, our
Okay.
first match is August 12th, and it's an away match.
Okay.
Yep. Our first home match is August 18th against Valley View.
Cool. Well, like I said, the school does a really good job of keeping everybody up to date on social media with Instagram and Twitter and various opportunities for people to access what's going on out at Paragould High School. And again, it's fun to watch them play. And same thing with the golf team. We encourage all of our patrons to come out and support our student athletes. So we're excited about that. It's great to have. It's hard to believe school start next week, but it's great to kind of get back in the swing of things, and it's going to be fun to watch you guys play. And I want to kind of bring in now one of our student athletes, Leona Hickman, is with us. Thank you, Leona, for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are most welcome. Tell everybody a little bit about Leona and a little bit about your tennis game.
So this will be my second year playing tennis. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I'm really excited to just kind of be able to play and get better.
How long have you played tennis?
So this will be my second year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think are your strengths of your game and areas that you try to work on?
I think I'm good at playing the net and hitting the balls down pretty good, and I'm good at being able to adapt to who I'm playing against. And I think something I need to work on the most is probably my serves, because that's definitely a harder part, but I still am able to get it in usually and have a good hit.
Cool. What about some of the schools that we'll be playing? What do you think about? You probably get a taste of. We were just talking about some of the other teams that we play, Valley View and Searcy and Mountain Home and some of those teams. Have you had a chance to get to know maybe some of the student athletes from some of those other schools?
I haven't gotten to know a whole lot, but I do know that some of the teams definitely are more challenging as we go to play them. But we definitely do still have a chance to go against them and have a good hit, like a good play. But there definitely are some that are just a little bit more challenging.
Yep. And like I said, there's some schools that have a pretty advanced, setup maybe in their hometown where there's, good facilities and they've got good teaching and kids that have been working on it for a long time. And but I see more and more kids out there playing tennis now.
Yeah.
When if you're just driving up down Court Street, and we got a great facility out at PHS, and a lot of times I'd be driving by and there's student athletes out there hitting the tennis ball around, so that's encouraging.
Yes.
And of course, you probably prefer it not to be 100 degrees out there.
Yes, definitely.
And so forth, but it will cool off here eventually, hopefully. And well, we're excited. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's going to be fun to watch you guys play, and we want to encourage all of our Ram fans to come out and support our student athletes. And I'm sure you would like to have a little
Yes,
home
definitely.
cooking and little folks to support your efforts out on the tennis court. So congratulations. Have a great year, and we'll be excited to watch you guys and see how you do.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. McKenna, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to our Paragould High School tennis program. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with you here just a few minutes as we roll on the 2025 Fall Sports Paragould High School Coaches Show. Stay with us here on the Paragould Rams Sports Network. Good job. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 Fall Coaches Show here at 1812 Pizza in downtown Paragould. It's time for fall athletics again at Paragould High School, and this is our 5th year on the Paragould Ram Sports Network. That's very difficult to believe, but again, we want to thank Zach Kent, our orchestrator, and we appreciate all the work that everyone does to get us set up and everything. And we're going to transition from golf and tennis over to cross country. And with us is our cross-country head coach, Monica Edwards. And Monica's got some of her student athletes with us this afternoon. And we have Dalen Burrows with us, Tyler Bedgood, Kelly Jackson, and Kaylin Edwards. And the first thing I want to do is say welcome to Coach Monica Edwards. And it does seem strange that Starlin is not here.
Yeah.
But it's going to be sort of your first year without Starlin on the team. So talk a little bit about the squad and who all are involved, and what your thoughts and expectations for the teams are.
Well, I mean, we had a really good year last year, but we've spent the entire summer building. We have between 35 and 40 kids on the team.
Wow.
We've had Tyler and his twin sister Tiffany moved in. Well, they lived in, but they transferred over from Tech.
Mm-hmm.
We have a young boy named Brent that moved here from Pocahontas. Kaylin's ready. It's Dalen's senior year. We've got Logan Brown, Callie. We've got Anaya Dorsey as well. They're a really strong group. Most all of them did track. Mm-hmm. And then we're just transitioning. We've worked on building our base mileage and just getting ready to hit the ground.
Saw you guys out there working within the last few days. Has the heat affected your workouts?
No.
Because it's been so hot. Is that something you kind of work before
We'll go
in the morning or late?
Yeah, before or after. We do gym work. We go in the weight room. We go in the field house. We do whatever we have to do.
You've got really a lot of kids to choose from this year, and that's awesome. What's your expectations in terms of performance within the district and hopefully the state tournament?
Well, within the district, if the kids don't win district this year, they will have it in the bag next year. My team is very young, like where most of the teams that will be able to really compete, mainly all their kids are seniors.
Mm-hmm.
My kids that are going to be my top placers I have Dalen as senior, everybody else is pretty much 10th grade.
Well, and that's going to give them something to shoot at. And, they're going to get a lot of great experience in running as a sophomore and so forth against quality, kids that are at the upper levels, juniors and seniors. So,
and this girl squad, my senior high boys and girls squad is just great. Junior high, I'm pretty much stacked across the board.
And we mentioned Starlin. I wanted to go back just for a second and talk about the success that you had last year. Tell everybody about some of the things that you guys were able to accomplish last year.
In cross country?
Yes.
Well, last year, Sterling got All-State again, and she went to the Arkansas versus Oklahoma meet.
Mm-hmm.
And she placed in that meet as well. Arkansas ended up taking the win. It was all the best from Arkansas that went and competed. For conference, I had 3 junior high conference, and I had 2 senior high conference.
Okay.
But the team is completely different this year.
Right, but the standard is there.
Oh,
so you guys know that the standard is there, and that's something you guys got to work toward to continue that tradition of success and accomplishment in the cross-country and track programs. You talked about the fact that you've gotten a lot of kids interested. To me, that kind of surprised me that there are that many kids interested. What do you think is kind of responsible for that? Does the success of the program have something to do with that, or is this just something that a lot of kids are active and running and they want to get involved in it?
I would say part of it is the success of the team, but truthfully, I would blame almost all of it on the team culture. Like these kids that you see and the culture that they have, no drama. Constantly, there's days whenever I don't have practice, but yet they're meeting at 6 a.m. and going for a 5 to 7 mile run.
Good.
Their chemistry is just phenomenal. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, that's a statement right there in and of itself, because to see the kids that have that kind of character and desire to go out there and continue to get better and work at it when it'd be easy not to is a great statement. Well, congratulations not only on the success last year, but in really kind of building, and I think this is a credit to you, the culture of the program. And like I said, you've gotten a lot of interest in it, and you got some talented kids, even though they may be young. So you have to say the future continues to be bright for the program.
Oh, yes. These kids have a very bright future.
Awesome.
I just can't wait to see where it goes.
Awesome. Well, we're going to transition over to some of our student athletes, and the first one that we're going to visit with is Kaylin Edwards. Kaylin, welcome. This is not your first rodeo.
No.
But you are kind of one of our leaders here, so tell everybody a little bit about yourself. What do you think are your strengths in running, and what are your expectations for this year?
I guess my expectations are I want to be All-State this year, and I'll have to drop a bunch of time to do that, but I think my training and my progression throughout this year, from last year to this year, I think I'll be able to do it 100%.
What is your training program? I mean, I'm sure that you've been doing this all summer to kind of get ready, and probably had some helpful pushing and so forth, but are you comfortable in where you are right now with how you're progressing, and are you ready for the season?
I think so. I think the heat is also really helping us, because cross country is it's normally very hot during it, so it's getting us used to it before the season actually comes, and we're just working on the skills that we need to have for the actual race time.
Who are some of the other schools that we run against that you think will be challenging?
I think mainly Searcy and Valley View. They're probably going to be our main competition in conference and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. And when is our first meet?
It's the first week of September. We'll be going to Melbourne.
First week of September. When's our first? Do we have a home meet?
We do. September the 16th on the new cross-country course.
And where's that?
It is over right beside the primary.
Okay. Interesting. So, if you're kind of interested in how that works, that would be kind of interesting to go watch some of the kids do that. And like we've talked about this with some of the other sports, Zach and everyone does a really good job with social media. And if you'll follow Paragould Rams Athletics on social media, they will keep you up to date on, all of our sports and all of our home meets and all that. And we would encourage everybody, if you have some interest, go out there and take a look at it and show some support to our student athletes. I know they would appreciate it, and it'd be a lot of fun to watch, kind of how that works, because I think a lot of people would be curious what goes on during a cross-country meet. You just line everybody off and shoot the gun, or what?
It is very fun. You wouldn't believe the strategic methods that these kids use to win.
Yeah, interesting. So congratulations on all your accomplishments. Continue to work hard, and we got big expectations for you and the team this year, so keep at it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to switch over here to Callie Jackson. Callie is a sophomore this year, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And Callie was one of the star performers in the Powder Puff football game back last spring, and Brad and I commented on your ability on the football field. It was outstanding out there this year. You looked like you had a lot of fun out there, though.
We did, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Talk a little bit about what your expectations are for cross country this year, and what are your strengths when it comes to cross country running?
It's my first year doing cross country, so I'm really just hoping to, run some good times, get a good baseline. Some of my strengths, I feel like I can finish pretty good. I have pretty good speed work, and so my endurance has just gotten a lot better. So.
Do you have a time in your mind that you're trying to work toward, or is it just you're just continually trying to get stronger and continue to improve your conditioning and to run better times and so forth?
Mainly just trying to become a stronger runner. But I guest ran at state last year, and I ran in the 24 minutes, so I'm really trying to aim under 24.
And what race is that? Let me take a step back. When you run a cross-country race, what's the distance that you're running?
For high school, it's a 5K, so like 3.1 miles.
Okay. And you got a time. What's your best time so far?
It was 24 something. I don't remember for sure.
Okay.
But yeah.
But like you got a goal in mind. I'd like to get that down a certain amount.
Yeah. So just
Cool.
under 24.
Cool. What's your expectations for success in the district and the state this year?
I really don't know. I don't know much about the
Some of the
different
other teams?
Yeah. So just do my best. That's all.
Perfect. Well, you've got a bright future ahead of you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
And we're going to switch over now to one of our guys on the team, one of our student athletes, and Dalen Burrows.
Yes,
Dalen,
sir.
welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thanks. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what are your strengths as a cross-country runner, and what are some of your expectations for the season?
Well, I'm a senior at Paragould High School. I do cross country, and then I do indoor track and outdoor track for Paragould. For the season, I want to drop time, obviously. I definitely like distance running a lot more than like short sprint distance running, so I guess I'd say that's more my strength.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
How much has the weather been a challenge? We've talked to each of us about it. It's been so hot this summer, the last month, 6 weeks. Has that been challenging in your training, and kind of where are you right now with your conditioning?
I mean, I would say the heat's definitely like a problem, but we're always careful as a team to never like go out when it's too hot or when it's dangerous. We do try to heat train some, so we get used to it, because like she said, the races are very hot, and it can be very challenging to run in the heat versus running in the winter. It can add minutes to your time, like 2, 3, 4 minutes. And I would say training while it's hot helps a lot.
Excellent. What about some of the other schools that we're competing against? You know anything about them, or some ideas on that?
I don't really know a lot about the other teams as much. I just know, like, compared to last year, our team is much better this year. Not that our team was bad last year. I think our team was great last year. I just think we're going to be even better this year.
Continue to work at it, continue to get those times down, and like we said at the very beginning, the standard of excellence is there, and that's something that each of you, I'm sure, wants to maintain and even improve on.
That's what she was saying, the culture of our team, it's like, it's a winning culture, but it's also like team-centered. Like, we hold each other accountable. We make sure that we're all running and doing what we're supposed to.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Dalen, thanks. Good luck to you this year. It's going to be fun to watch you and everyone compete, and best wishes, and hopefully we can perform well at the district and take it to the state tournament.
Let's hope.
All right. We're going to let Dalen pass the torch down to Tyler Bedgood. Tyler, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Tell everybody just a little bit about yourself and just a little bit about your strengths as a runner in cross country.
I just switched schools from Greene County Tech, and I'm really happy to be a part of the team here. Really excited for just the team atmosphere when we go to meets together and stuff. And
what do you think about in terms of your strengths for being a runner? So in other words, are you a good starter? Are you a good finisher? Or you just do you have times that you're working trying to improve toward? Or
I'm definitely not the fastest at the end. I get passed a lot at the end, so that's something to work for. And then I definitely want to compete at well at state. It's probably my biggest goal is to do well at state, and I'd like to get top 10 if I could.
Cool.
Let's see.
What I was going to ask you, what kind of motivation does Coach Edwards give you guys?
I guess just.
She's pretty good on pushing you.
Yeah.
I can tell that with some of the practices out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And welcome to Paragould High School. And it's going to be fun to watch you and your teammates run this year. And, again, we talked to everybody that if they've never been to a cross-country meet, I would encourage you to take a look at that. We'll keep everybody posted on social media as to when the meets are and everything. And Sounds like you got a great another group this year to work with, and it might be a little bit young, but at the same time, it's going to be a great experience for them and a chance to continue to build on that tradition here at PHS.
They're very, very humble. I know, like Callie, what she said she did last year, she did that with no training. She's trained all summer. She's very humble.
Well,
Tyler is very, very humble. You know, I think he's shooting to get in the 17s, low 17s, right? 16s, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, and I really do believe he can do it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks for your time this afternoon. I appreciate all the hard work you guys put in. And the one thing that I like about kind of what we do here in these coaches shows is it really kind of helps generate, I think, some school spirit and to kind of get everybody together on the same team and encourage you guys to go out there and do the very best you can and represent yourself and the school and your family and all that. And good luck to you, and it'll be fun to watch. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Stay with us as we roll on the Paragould High School Fall 25 Coaches Show. We're going to talk a little Paragould High School volleyball here in a few minutes, so stay with us here on the Paragould Rams Sports Network. All right, we are back with you here on the 2025 Fall Coaches Show from 1812 Pizza in downtown Paragould. Jimmy Dodd Jr. And this is the 5th year for the Paragould Rams Sports Network, and we are excited to transition over into girls volleyball. And it's hard to believe, but it is just about volleyball season. And with us this afternoon is Chandler Weber, is representing our head coach this afternoon, and we've got 4 of our star volleyball players, and we're going to talk to each of them and get some thoughts from them about the upcoming season expectations. And first of all, we're going to introduce Chandler Weber. Chandler is going to be in charge right now, as Reed Fogelman, our coach, is with her new child, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to Coach Fogelman. And it's hard to believe, but volleyball season is just about here. And I want to give you a chance to just kind of talk about your thoughts on the squad and kind of what your expectations for this group is.
We're really excited to get this season started. We have a lot of high hopes and expectations. We fell a little short last season, didn't make the state tournament, which is not our standard. But last year was one of those years. Ava went out early. Ava Beasley did game 4 with an injury. And we never got her back, and we kind of called it our bingo year, where there was a lot of things that happened that were not on our bingo card. We had multiple concussions, and we had a varsity starter out almost every single game. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a rough year, but we kind of have a chip on our shoulder now. And the good thing is we have a lot of experience coming back. We have 6 returning players, varsity players, that played as sophomore and juniors last year. So we feel that experience is going to help give us that edge. And we're pretty deep, honestly, too. So there's a lot of roles that can be played by multiple people in any position.
One of the things I've mentioned over the last couple of years is how much volleyball has grown in interest and how much detail is involved in volleyball. It's not just hit it back and forth, but there's a lot of strategic involvement in it where you want the girls positioned and so forth. And I can remember one of the opposing coaches with little hand signals behind her back that showing
spot serving.
That kind of stuff that, to someone that's not familiar with it, be going, what's going on there? But it's, one of the things that I noticed, too, is you've got some experienced girls on the team.
Yes,
and
sir.
I would think that, you talked about missing the state last year. 2 years ago, we won the first game in the state tournament down at Searcy, if I remember correctly. And
yes, sir.
Last year, we really struggled, as you said, with injuries, and we just had some unforeseen circumstances that really made it difficult. And some of our opponents took advantage of that, and there were some other good teams in the league. And that's the next thing is our league usually is pretty good in volleyball. And I would expect that's going to be the same case this year.
Yes, sir. It's the toughest league in the state, I would venture out to say. Toughest classification and the toughest conference in our classification. You got Marion and Valley View. Marion, I think, got a lot of people back. So they're always, top contenders in that top 4. And then you also have Batesville Tech, Mountain Home, Nettleton. I mean, there is not an easy cakewalk any night. You have to bring your best.
What do you think, besides the experience that the girls have, will be the strength of this team?
I would say the biggest thing
from an offensive perspective.
Well, I think that we have a lot of hitters that, I said on another interview, every year I've been like, man, we've been one hitter short. Mm-hmm. We really could use a good right side hitter. We're missing that outside hitter. But with Ava Hadley, Sophie's coming back from an injury, Madison Martin, we got to move in from CRA. That's a junior that's pretty good and going to be, so I feel like we aren't that hitter short anymore. We can throw this kid outside, this kid right side. We have a lot of versatility, and they all can kind of play everywhere. So I feel like that's going to help us to keep teams off balance because they never know where we might throw someone. That can be a weapon.
Something else that I've seen, especially in the last few years, is that we've had someone that is so good at keeping points alive. Not so much what I'm talking about is just killing it at the net, but somebody will try to spike it on us, and we dig that thing out of the back and save the point, and then wind up getting back in the point and then winning the point.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And
I do think our back row is scrappy. We have Izzy Kinder, who's a senior right here, and then we also have Tosco John coming from the junior high team, and Naomi Loki Jack, and they read balls really well, and they have a lot of hustle and grit, and so I think that you'll see our back rows a little bit quicker and scrappier maybe this year.
One of the things that Coach Monica Edwards talked about with the cross-country girls was the cohesiveness of their unit and their camaraderie. How do you view that with this group of girls?
They're all pretty close. They get along. We have a lot of fun. So far, there's not been any, cliques or drama, and I think they do genuinely love each other and want to win. Our biggest focus is the energy.
Yeah.
That's what we've been trying to focus on. In volleyball, talking and energy goes a long way. And so we're just trying to take them to that next level of that excitement, that passion, that talking and grittiness that I think we need to get to get that edge on our opponents.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that you said, the standard of Paragould High School volleyball has been a standard of excellence all the way up to state championship level.
Yes, sir.
And with not achieving the state tournament last year, and you said sort of a chip on our shoulder, the level of desire of the girls to get back to that this year and to experience that state tournament that we didn't get to last year will really be interesting to watch as we get into the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, I think that this group is fully capable, and we've been to 16 out of the last 20 state tournaments.
Yep.
And we have 4 state final, 4 appearances. So people want to talk about the Valley Views and the Marions, but Paragould volleyball is up there if you really want to get technical.
Well, congratulations on the success, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We do a lot of volleyball games on Paragould Ram Sports Network, and that all starts here just in, a couple of weeks?
Yes, sir. We have our first jamboree at Jonesboro, which is, just kind of playing a couple sets each team on August 21st, which is a Thursday. And then we go to Cabot that Monday, the 25th, and then our first home game is against Jonesboro on August 26th, that Tuesday.
Wow. Won't be far off at all.
Yes, sir. We are right here.
At all. Well, Chandler, thanks. Let's transition over to some of our student athletes, and we'll start with the young lady on my left, Sophie Hancock. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Talk first of all about your injury. You had a little thing that you've been working to overcome, and how's that coming along?
So I tore my labrum and my bicep tendon. Tore it during the season last year, and I played through it. But, I'm coming towards the end of my recovery, but I'm doing good. I'm hoping to be back soon. I'm not sure when that is yet, but I'm hoping for sooner rather than later.
You are very experienced from the team, and what are your thoughts about what are your expectations for the team for this year?
I think we have a lot of potential. I think that we have really good team chemistry. I think that we have a lot of players that are versatile. I think everybody can play different spots if we need them to. People can fill in roles. We have people on the bench that are willing to step up, and I think that's what makes us. We have good grit, and so.
There's something I wanted to mention, and I noticed this, and I was going to ask you about this as well, and that is that people that don't think conditioning plays a part in volleyball need to probably rethink that a little bit, because I can't remember how many matches that I saw last year that completely flipped from the third set on. You've got a team that really does well the first 2 sets, but that they kind of falter a little bit, and they're, they kind of lose a step in that third set. The other team gets momentum, and all of a sudden the whole thing switches.
You definitely need endurance for volleyball. Basketball has a time limit. Football has a time limit. We don't have a time limit.
Nope.
And so we can play a 5-set match and play 2.5 hours. That's a lot of.
It is. We're going to have to order dinner on him if some of these matches keep going.
I know. So it is a lot, and it's a lot of quick movement and jumping. That takes a lot out of you. So it's a lot more strenuous than people think.
Yep. But it's going to be fun to watch. You played a lot near the net. And
Sure.
Is that kind of your strength? What do you see as your biggest asset for the team?
So I'm a middle blocker. I think last year I had a really strong swing. Now coming back from an injury, that might change. I'm hoping not, but I think that's one of my biggest strengths is I have a pretty good swing and a pretty big block.
Cool. Well, good luck with your rehab, and hopefully that comes along well, and I expect that you'll make a great contribution to the team this year. So best wishes, and thanks for being with us this afternoon. We'll pass it down to Hadley Luke. Hadley is another experienced volleyballer here at PHS. Hadley, tell everybody about what you think your strengths are on the team and what your expectations for the season are.
Well, just a few of my strengths. I'm a middle blocker, just like Sophie. I've started since I was a sophomore, coming up on varsity. It's just as it sounds. I'm a big hitter for us and also a big blocker. we can make it to state tournament, and that's what we need to do.
Who are the biggest obstacles to getting there?
Valley View is always a good match. Marion, tough one. Those are the two biggest, really.
Well, like she said, they're all pretty good.
Right.
There's no afternoon off.
Never.
In our league, and you've got to be on your best effort. But it kind of sounds like, and just visiting with you, some of you before we came on, that there is a little bit of an edge that last year kind of left a little bit of, we didn't get everything out of it we wanted to, and we're going to try to make sure this year that we
Yes, sir.
get over that hump a little bit, and hopefully the injury bug won't hit us this year, and we can continue to stay healthy and get the benefit of the experience which you do have.
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be awesome. How far can we go this year?
I mean, I think we could go all the way.
That's what
Yeah.
we want. That's what we
That's
want to hear.
what you got to believe.
That's
yeah.
what we want to hear.
It's the goal.
That's what we want to hear. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch you guys. I've got high expectations. This is, of all of our teams this year, you guys probably have one of my higher expectation levels for success this year, and it's going to be fun to watch you get after it here in just a couple of weeks. So, the other thing about it, we encourage our fans to come out and support volleyball. In volleyball, fans can make a difference. Remember that state tournament game at Searcy a couple of years ago?
Yes.
I thought that our students over there may have helped turn that. They energized the team, and especially in that third and fourth set, and we came back, and I think that had a lot to do with it. So we can really use the support at the matches when we play the Valley Views and the Techs and the Mountain Homes and the Marions.
Yes, sir. The fans give us a lot of momentum. Volleyball is a game of momentum. It's a more mentally tough because you're having to score or lose a point every rally, and I would like to see more fans. I will say I feel like our fan base has been down a little since COVID because the convenience of watching it, and I get it. But it's the last year in the dock, and it makes a difference. We don't have the cheer and dance parents at our games that other sports have the luxury of also having.
The best thing to do is to be there. Then you can go home and watch it again.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And you can see, well, what happened
that
on
replay.
that play or whatever, so forth. So we need that support, so we really do and encourage that. So, Hadley, good luck this year.
Thank you.
And it's going to be fun to watch you play. I'm going to switch gears before I come back over here, and we're going to talk with Izzy Kinder. Izzy's another experienced volleyballer out here, and welcome, and thanks for joining us this afternoon. Tell everybody just a little bit about what you think your strengths are, your best aspects of being a volleyball player. What do you do best?
So I am a defensive player, and I've always been back row. I'm obviously too short to be front row, so I've definitely had lots of practice in the back row. I think my strengths are just always being there, trying to get the ball up so our offense can run and score the point. I have lots of energy, so I like to bring energy to the team, and if we get down, I'm there to help us get back up. I'm loud. I like to help the team out.
Sometimes the girls on the front row that spike the points and all that get the credit. But like I said a few minutes ago, the girls that can keep those points alive when it looks like we're going to lose the point, and you keep that thing alive, and all of a sudden it completely flips and we get the point. Those are crucial. I can remember several volleyball matches where you could see the complete momentum shift off a play like that. So even though sometimes those plays don't get the same level of attention or highlights that some of the others do, they are super important, and they can really make a difference in winning and losing the match. So
yes, I would say definitely when those plays happen, the bench gets hype. I would say we all get pretty hype, and it definitely helps us continue on with the game.
Yep. What's your expectation for the team this year?
I just hope that we can all come together and stay close, and our chemistry is good, and hopefully it'll take us to state tournament and win, especially since this is our last year. And I feel like this group of girls are very tight, and we all love each other very much. So.
That's awesome. Well, it's a group of experience. You guys have been playing for several years, and it's going to be fun to watch, and wish you the best. It's going to be fun to go along with you along the way. And, hey, let's get back to that state tournament. That was a lot of fun to go to Searcy a few years ago and win that first round. I believe we lost to the eventual state champions, didn't we?
Yes.
Benton. And so we've got to, I think we've got the girls. You guys can get back there and even see if we can go a little bit further.
Yes.
So good luck this year. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. And now I'm going to turn my attention to our far left, and Lila Beach is with us. Lila, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Tell everybody a little bit about your volleyball skills and what you think you do best, and some thoughts about the team.
I'm a setter. I come from back row and I set, and I'd say that I do pretty well at communicating with my hitters in a way to make sure that I give them the set that they want. Even if it's not perfect every time, I try my best to give them a good hit. So I think I'm very level-headed. I'm not loud. I don't really talk that much on the court, but I'm calm, and I just give high fives when needed, and I have a good relationship with everybody on the team. So I just try my best to be there.
What do you think is going to be the strength of our team overall? Do you think it's experience? Do you think we've got some girls that can get up over the net and are very good offensively to put points away? Or like we were talking about with Izzy here a minute ago, you got to play good defense to have a championship team. To get to that state tournament, you've got to make some plays to stay in points that otherwise we might be in, and then switch the momentum back to our side.
I feel like we have the talent all the way around. We just need to make sure that, like Coach Weber always says, we need to have the grit and the toughness to get through to each point. Even if one point doesn't go our way, we just need to move on and just go straight to the next one. And we know that we have the talent. We know that we can do it. So we just need to actually believe it and show it on the court.
Yeah, good answer. One of the things that I noticed last year, and I was going to ask you about this, was the successful teams that I saw really did well serving. In other words, they didn't give up points on serve. And we had matches last year where a girl would get on a run and she was really serving well and might get 8 or 10 consecutive point run, and that makes a huge difference in a 3-set match. Is that something y'all work on a lot, and is that something you even track, like percentage of first serves in, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir. Are you talking about when we're serving or we're receiving?
When we're serving.
Yes, sir. Yes, we focus on serving. They can see their stats on Huddle and our serving. Even today, we were focusing on serving tougher. We talked about it, to get other teams out of system, because teams want to get us out of system. We have to be able to serve tougher consistently. So we do work on picking out those spots. And act like they're potential, players that we want to pick on, I guess you could say. And then also on the flip side, we're working on our serve receive, which I do think this summer has looked pretty well, because you got to be able to control your pass so that your offense can run. So
when you talk about offensive serving, how much of it is placement and how much of it's velocity?
It's a balance, because I feel like you can have people who aren't just putting holes in the floor, but if they can float serve and have technique to their serve and be able to pick people out, that's a huge part of it too.
It just looks like, from a layman such as me sitting up there, that when that ball is going across that net with a high velocity, it's a lot more difficult.
Oh, it definitely is. It's harder to read and drops on you. Yes, sir. Yeah, that definitely can play a role for sure.
Yep. And we saw some girls in our league that are good servers of volleyball, and that helps them. But
yes, sir.
Girls, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I think the ceiling's the limit for y'all this year, and it's going to be fun to watch. And we want to encourage all of our patrons to come out and support this group. And again, we'll crank it up in about 2 weeks. So,
yes, sir.
So
Thank you for having us.
It's going to be fun to watch, and you'll be able to watch many of these on the Paragould Ram Sports Network. So looking forward to the season. Girls, thank all of you. Have a great year, and let's get it back to the state tournament.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you to our volleyball team. We're going to take a break, and we'll rejoin you with football as we'll bring to a close our 2025 Fall Coaches Sports Show here on the Paragould Ram Sports Network. Stay with us.
A new set's like $7,000.
Oh, there's the militia.
That's better.
Less background.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to roll on with our last segment here on the Fall Sports 2025 Coaches Show here from 1812 Pizza in historic downtown Paragould. And we're going to talk a little Paragould High School football here with our head coach, Randy Phillips, and one of our lead assistants, Justin Lovell. And it's been a long, hot summer, Coach, but it is football season.
You're talking about hot. It felt like last week, like you just come out of a jacuzzi. It's been warm. So got some cooler weather this week, so it's been nice. We've actually been able to get outside and practice. The wet bulb last week was going off at 9 o'clock, so for us to be able to get out and get on the field, it helps us a lot.
Well, you know, the one thing, it's been kind of hard to get anywhere out there on campus this summer because for those of you that don't know, we've got the arena construction going on. We got the softball and baseball complex being redone. The parking lot's being redone, and it looks like the place was just hammered out there for most of the summer, but starting to take shape. And I think they've got most of the parking lot.
Yeah, we got half the parking lot done.
There you go.
And
there you go.
Next half will be done next year.
There you go. It is really hard to believe that you are entering year 3 here. And I know we sat and did this program 2 years ago. And the first question that I really had for both of you is, what is kind of your thoughts on where the program is tonight versus when you first got here?
You know, we lost that first year. We had a lot of great seniors. And it's going to be hard to have a group like that come through here again, but we've got some guys that are stepping up. And I think from that first year to this year, you may not see it that much in senior high as a whole, but you really notice it when you look at the program from 7 through 12 that all the kids know the expectation now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no – I mean, you don't have to get them to work hard. It's become the standard. So I think from the point when I got here to now is the kids know the expectation, and that's something that our coaches have done a good job of is, you know, setting that expectation, that standard, and holding the kids to it. And I think that's the biggest thing I see from the overall program is how far we've come overall. Now the wins and losses, we had more wins last year than did the year before, and we want more this year. But that's the biggest thing I see is the culture shift of where the kids are holding each other accountable more, and the standard is set and they're meeting it.
Well, I think that one thing, and we talked about the real need to establish really sort of a new culture when you arrived, is that we've had some stability in our coaching staff, like Coach Lovell, and that has to go a long way, and I think you got to be pretty comfortable with the guys on your staff.
Yeah, I mean, those are we've had a couple guys, a couple new coaches come in that they've done a good job of meeting that standard that we expect. So we haven't really missed a beat when we lost a coach and got a new guy in. And we've had those consistent coaches. We've got the same DC, and Coach.
I think the school identified as a really need to improve was to get the kids involved at a little bit of an earlier age. Mm-hmm. And talk a little bit about that because I know there's been a lot of emphasis on getting kids involved in the program at an earlier age, much like some of the other schools, the teams that we compete against have had for a long time. And that takes a little time to work its way through to where those kids that maybe are in the 4th grade eventually become 11th and 12th graders.
Yeah, so we, last year was the first year that we had the 5th and 6th grade program. My first year here, when we got kids into the 7th grade, those are kids that were coming from the boys club. Mm-hmm. And it's not that they weren't coached right or coached well, but they didn't have the same terminology that we use. So when we taught them something, it was completely either we had to change what they had known or we had to teach it to them completely new. This past year, when our 7th graders came to us this summer, they knew how to line up in the formations for the most part of, we were able to add stuff a lot sooner. We told them what a down block was. They knew what the plays were. Huge, just 1 year is a huge benefit for us to be able to have those kids come in and actually know just how to line up.
Yeah.
And you're talking, that's a lot of time we didn't have to spend on that. We spent weeks on it last year, or my first year as 7th graders. So you bring those guys in, and we're running plays, successfully week one.
Yeah.
And not so
Yeah.
it's huge having that. So when we get into that, the current or last year's fifth graders, when they get into seventh grade, they're going to have 2 years of it. And Chipman and I were talking about the need for a fourth grade team. So if we're able to get a fourth grade team started, and it's a little more challenging with the having kids at different schools.
Yeah.
But if we're able to do that, and you get them 3 years in a program running our offense and defense, it's going to be huge.
What is switching over to Coach Lovell, what is the difference?
Fast and furious, like Wolverines.
The other thing that I've noticed is the apparent benefits of our off-season program. Because, we had a couple of summers there where we had some coaching transitions, and we didn't have the same staff like 3 or 4 years in a row there. And now that there's been some stability here, you can see the kids have really, I think, and I want both of you to address this, really work hard in the off-season in the weight room and talk.
Yeah, I feel like us not having an air-conditioned weight room, it helps us set that standard that it's going to be hot and you're still going to work.
Yeah.
And Coach Johnson does an outstanding job with our weight program. Kids are packing on muscle, packing on weight. The speeds, the overall speed is improved each time we test. So our weight program has really, you look at some of our kids, they look like football players. Jack Starnes put on 15 or 20 pounds since last year. Isaiah's put on 15. My son's put on 20. And you've got that, a bunch of kids, like Jarrett Ray's probably put on 35, 40 pounds. And it's not fat.
Yeah, and he still has the same 40 speed with 30 pounds heavier.
And that's what we're seeing. You look at our skill guys. Our skill guys, and I'll say this, our skill guys are going to be as good as anybody we play with. Nettleton may have, overall more skill guys, but we can put our starters on the field. Those skill guys are going to be as good as anybody we play. Our line is not as big as we want it to be right now, but we're finally in a situation where we're not going to have to play all those guys both ways. And so, now we're going to have some guys that are a little bit fresher going into the third and fourth quarter. And that's, part of that is our weight program has really done a good job preparing them and getting more guys ready to play.
Well, when I went out and watched several of the practices and watching the kids over the summer a little bit, the last couple of years we have.
If I met with Coach Heston and our offensive staff and even brought in Coach Wagner, he's one of the defensive guys. We were just talking. I was like, guys, what do you think we need to do? Just getting their opinion on everything. And I already had in my head what I thought we needed to do. And, the first thing Coach Wag said is we need to establish a passing game. And the year before, my first year, we were able to throw the ball well enough, to keep people off balance a little bit. Last year, we just didn't do that. And it's partly my fault of not getting like Avery and Reed in a little bit more. But, my mindset was we had Cole Chipman, 1,000-yard rusher the year before. We had Mikey Peckrell.
Yep.
He rushed, the ball well before. And so I was sitting there thinking, man, and just honestly, everybody didn't get to see this in practice. We didn't throw the ball well in practice. So I didn't have a lot of confidence going into games throwing the ball.
Right.
And, so my mindset was, well, I feel like Cole can get 3-4 yards rushing. Mikey can get 3 to 4 yards rushing. If we throw it may have an incompletion and get behind the chain. So, it was kind of late in the season last year before we realized, crap, we got to throw the ball. And then it's, we couldn't do much about it. But that's something we have worked on since, I'm going to say, November, December, since last year. We made that commitment to throw the ball more, and we've done it. And going into team camps this summer, even, last year, first 2 years in team camp, we threw the ball some. But we had kept kind of a condensed formation on most things. And now we've opened it up some and got some guys out of the box. And even in team camps this summer, you didn't see people stacking the box. And Vienna's going to be aggressive in their secondary. They're going to stop the run.
Yep.
And we had two open guys last year that would have been touchdowns. And we're just going to concentrate on connecting on. He's going to be one of our top 2-3 backs. ZK Lanage is getting a lot of reps. He's looking really good. Ian Estrada has been playing some fullback. We got to get him going more north and south. Justin Trammell, he's our big back. We got to get him in shape. He was injured, and he's not quite in shape yet, so we got to get him in shape. Then I guess at slot we got Zach Flowers and Jack Starnes, they've done a great job. Brandon Lopez has really picked it up. So we got those 3 guys at our wing or slot position. Then at X receiver, we got Austin Burden. Avery Deering's actually been playing some X, so you get a 6'4" guy out there at receiver.
Mismatch.
Yes, and he's got good hands. He's really smart. But Isaiah, Austin Burden, and Alex Luke, Amari Williams, a bunch of those guys are playing our X receiver. Our H-back, Rayton Yasawa, is probably going to be our starter there. Then after him, it's going to be probably Josh Ward. Drake Wright has been getting some reps there. He's not quite the size we need him to be yet. But after that, we've got Camden Newman's been playing some H. On the offensive line, Thomas Henry and Hunter Burke have been playing tight ends. 2 big kids that have done a great job in the camps. Our quick guard, he's going to be quick and not very big. Van Cox, he's about 160 pounds. Hunter Garmouth, he's injured his ankle, and when he comes back, he's going to help us a lot at quick guard. Center is Nemish Jude, and Lane Loftus has been playing center, and they've done a good job this summer. Strong guard, Zayden Burgess has done a really good job. Him and,
don't look at me. I don't coach offense. I ain't got a clue.
I'll come back to him. Our inside tackle is that's been a couple of different guys. White Hancock has played there with sorry, my wife was waving. I thought she was waving at me. Tyler Ray's been playing inside tackle. Outside tackle has been Anulis Clanton and Jarrett Ray. They've done a good job. And, our line is not going to be that big, but those guys are – our last camp, they showed some dog in them and were pretty nasty, so that was encouraging to see them.
Cool. Defensively, talk a little bit about the defense. And we play in the 5A East. It's a tough league.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
The key, I would think, for us is just to show some improvement on not giving up quite as many big plays as we have and show some consistency. What are your thoughts about coming along in those areas are?
Well, piggybacking off what Coach Phillips said earlier about team speed, I think we're going to have probably the fastest team Paragould's had in a long time, and most of those guys are starters on defense. And then, heck, even their backups got pretty good speed. So out there in the secondary, I've got 2 seniors at corners, Jack and Isaiah, who've got Division I bodies. They've got Division I speed, Division I bodies, and if they keep their heads on straight, they got a good shot to play next level. So I've got those guys at the corners, and I can almost guarantee they'll match up with the best receivers in the 5A East and probably even hold them down. And then in the secondary, I've got 4 dudes rotating at my 2 safeties, and they're all underclassmen. So I'm going to have them all another year. I got Zach Flowers and Alex Luke back there at my safeties, Dylan Kriske and Amari Williams. So all 4 of those guys are long, have quick speed. They have good eye discipline, and that's why I moved those young guys back there. It's just strictly eye discipline, being able to fit for run. Then at linebacker, we have Josh Ward has really stepped up for his senior year, leading that group. He's fast, he's physical, he's strong. We actually gave him a bull collar, and he plays a lot more physical because he's like, man, that looks awesome. I was like, I'm glad you like it. I want to get all the linebackers. He does a good job of getting low, and he'll gator roll you. He ain't going to hit your head up because he knows he's small, but he'll go snap them ankles on you. And then up front, I think we're going to have a very quick D-line, as big as they are. We have Tyler Ray and Jarrett Ray up the middle, both 240 guys, but they're quick off their hand. They'll be able to stunt and make offensive linemen guess. And we got 2 big old strong ends with Thomas Henry and Kevion Padgett.
Yep.
Kevion Padgett, probably one of the most explosive kids I've ever coached.
Yep.
And so he'll be able to hold his own at the end. We're going to try to box teams in. Don't let them get the edge on us because in the past, once the ball gets around the edge, Paragould has struggled. So we're going to try to contain the ball, force it into our quick linebackers. Hunter Burke backs him up at DN. He does a good job for a sophomore. And then, of course, Burgess, he might be a little bit smaller, but he can play all 4 spots just because he's a smarter kid. And then every now and then we could plug Lane Loftus in if we need a break. So we've got enough guys up front that we could rotate them series by series and keep some fresh lungs on the field. But I think overall we're going to be able to play fast, play physical. We've evolved. So now not only sending 5-man pressure, we got 6-man pressure, 7-man pressure. We're going to be able to disguise coverages a lot easier than we have in the past. And I just don't think teams are going to be able to read what we're giving them each week.
Well, that is – and, again, I think all this comes back to the fact that you've been around these kids for a couple of years now, and they kind of have a better understanding of what it is you're trying to get them to do, and that hopefully that's going to pay some dividends for us. When we look at the schedule this year, we've got the same 3 non-conference games that we had last year. Last year, we started off 3-0. That's the first time in 20-plus years that Paragould had won the first 3 games in a row. And then we got into the 5A East.
They lost. They're going to reload. They've got so many kids that if they do lose a bunch of great players, they're going to have some that come back. I think they've got a linebacker that's getting looks from Division I colleges. But they lose that quarterback, and oftentimes the quarterback makes somebody roll, and they lost some good players on defense. But you still expect them to compete for the top spot. Nettleton was in the top 3 or 4. They lost. I think a lot of their offensive line is back, but I know they lost
quarterback.
Yeah, they lost quarterback. They lost the defense. 1 or 2 linebackers. The defensive. I think they're having to replace bigger pieces than we have to replace.
Up and win some games in the league, and make a little noise. The ability, and then turn that into confidence, and then into performance on the field.
We had a coaches meeting today with Mr. Chipman, and we met with every coach in the district, and he was talking about setting the standard, where we want to set the standard, and he's right. Our standard needs to be playoffs. For whatever sport, a state like a state title, or not a state title, but making playoffs on a state level. So if you get a kid, we want an all-state kid if they're in track, or they want to make the state playoffs or make the state tournament. And that's what we're aiming for. I have no excuse. We're in year 3. It's not like we're rebuilding. So, in high school, you rebuild every year, basically. So it's on us as coaches to improve where we were last year. And, I want to make the playoffs. I told my wife I'd shave my head or do whatever if we make the playoffs. So that's on the table.
Well,
gladly do it if it means losing some hair.
We'll all be there if that happens. That's for sure. But and now the next thing I want to address is our fans. In order for us to achieve that next level, some of the other places that we go get really good fan support. We've had some really good home crowds the last couple of years, and I know we want to continue to encourage that, because that makes a big difference, especially in that second half. And when we're competitive, I'm sure the kids can, get a little extra from the energy from the fans, and know that there's some support there.
All right. And I think we need, if we could get to that next level of getting fans to travel. I know it's real easy to sit at home and watch on TV. It's comfortable. But, man, if you could just get yourself to travel, because we don't play very far away most of our games. Farthest games will be Hardin Academy and Batesville. I understand that. But everywhere else, we need to be able to pack it out and show other teams that we're here to actually fight. We're actually here to compete, not just, it's an away game. We're not going to roll over anymore. We're here to fight. We're here to compete for some conference wins.
Well, and that's what I think that I've noticed in the kids is I see a little epoxy before the 5A East starts. So it's going to be a great year, and congratulations on the effort. I know you guys have really worked hard. I know the kids have worked hard and have responded, and it's going to be fun to go through this, and hopefully we can kind of get over the hump on some of those games and make some noise this year. We got everybody's attention those first 3 games last year, and we just had some opportunities that we just couldn't quite finish. And I really think with the effort that these guys have put in the off season and a little extra experience, that we can kind of get over the hump there.
I agree. That's our plan. We feel like we've got the pieces in place to be able to compete with everybody in our conference.
Well, it's going to be fun, guys. We appreciate the time. All right, we are back with you here, and we're excited to have 4 of our student athletes join us as we get prepared for the 2025 Paragould High School football season. And again, we just got through talking with our head football coach, Randy Phillips and our defensive coordinator, Justin Lovell. And now we've got on the dais, if you will, with us 4 of our outstanding student athletes. We've got Zach Flowers, Avery Deering, Anulis Clinton, and Austin Burden. And the first one I'm going to start with is Avery.
Good way to put it. Has done an extremely tremendous job of putting us in these competitions, competing every day so that we get back to a really good competitor's mindset and never quit the competing so that we can become more competitive natured and just every day going at it in practice, just giving each other our best foot forward. And that's just something I think we've improved tremendously on in years past and came a long way from, and just us going at it with each other every day, giving each other our best, going 110% no matter what. And our coaches do a really good job of holding us accountable to do all that as well.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about earlier was, maybe a little bit of a change in offense this year, and that we're able to sort of expand the playbook a little bit. And one of the things that I think we struggled with a little bit last year is we did good until we got behind the sticks. If we had a 5-yard penalty, we had a difficult time overcoming it. If we had 3rd and long, we struggled with that a little bit. But now I think based on experience, hopefully we can cut down the pre-snap penalties, cut down on some of the turnovers, and I think we've got the ability to have a little bit more in terms of explosive plays. And talk a little bit about that and sort of a little bit, more of I'm not going to say wide open, but I think we've got the ability to stretch the field a little bit.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with you there. Coach Phil has done a really good job of looking into some new formations, so to say, and some new schemes, and just we're going to try to emphasize getting the ball, getting it out wide a little bit, not running between the tackles so much and throwing a little bit. And me and Reed's done an amazing job just learning how to read defenses. Definitely been eating our carrots. Our eyesight's up to work for sure. But we're just every day going at it with Coach Engel, our newest hire, QB coach, teaching us a little bit more about our form, arm slot, how to use our body in the right way, knowing how to use our body. And just overall knowing the defensive schemes and coming to know the defensive side of the ball as well. The best way to know about it is just knowing the other side as well as you know your side, and that's something that we've put a lot of work into and repped a bunch of passing almost every day now. We've installed a passing a little bit and trying to get our receivers' hands up, get our arms up, get our eyes right, like I said earlier, and just overall have a fun time slinging it around and still running and playing our Paragould football, controlling the clock, but if need be, we also have those plays there. And if they're not honoring that aspect of our game, because last year we faced a bunch of people stacking the box with 7, 8 people, and that leaves you 3 high safeties. And with the 3 high defensive backs, 2 corners and a safety, really opens the field a lot, because after just running it down somebody's throat a lot, they're going to get used to it and they're going to anticipate that. And then all of a sudden, he slips out, and it's just – he's behind us and the ball's over my head.
We've got you mentioned the pass game. We've got some explosive athletes. I think once we get the ball in their hands, they can make a guy miss. Talk a little bit about that.
I'd say probably one of our most explosive ones. They're actually here today over there in the corner. Jack Storns and Isaiah Flowers. Jack Storns is he's moving a lot of weight right now. Really explosive guy, and I think he's squatting about 5 plates right now, and he's running 4.8, 4.7 maybe. Isaiah's running, I think he ran the other day, ran like a 4.58 maybe, and those guys are improving those hands for sure. Zach over here to my left, he's crazy hands. His hands are insane. 7-on-7 showed out. He's pretty explosive as well, running. Got to keep him a little bit healthy. And I mean, our receivers as well. I mean, Austin to my left, we all call him Bird. Bird to my left also is really big on the route running for sure, and his hands are pretty certified, and he's going to secure that ball. And not to leave out the big boys. Our big boys are putting in some work too. They're for sure holding it down up there, and we've got to give them some love as well, because we wouldn't be doing anything without them. So they're pretty good athletes as well, playing some both sides. We got a bunch of them playing both ways for sure. Tyler Ray's playing both ways. Jarrett Ray's playing both ways. Van Cox is a name playing both ways. I really hope y'all can get used to hearing that name a lot. He's a pretty good kid. And Anulis Clinton Anulis to our right is also, I think he's playing a bunch of reps both ways, and those guys are really big. That's going to be a big help, is our condition, and just having the big guys also not be excluded and giving them some love when they deserve it.
last question, expectations for the season.
Expectations. So we've done a really big job, expectations-wise, of keeping ourselves, holding ourselves accountable, being able to hold ourselves accountable to where it's not just Coach Phil or Coach Lovell or Coach Whittle or Coach Engel or somebody like that having to get on your back because you do something wrong, respecting each other. And I think as long as we can maintain, I think that Coach Phil and all of our head coaches or all of our coaches will be extremely pleased if we just keep ourselves in a respectful manner. And don't get me wrong, we love to win football games, but that's the overall look. But in terms of wins and losses, I think that we can give people a run for their money if we'll play Paragould Ram football and Paragould Ram defense and not be lackadaisical, I guess, and just lackadaisical with the penalties, with the things that are avoidable that you can control, making our PATs, things like that.
Got to finish.
For
Got to
sure,
finish
for
in the
sure,
fourth
for
quarter.
sure.
Well, listen, man, you've worked hard. I'm proud of you. Keep up, and it's going to be a lot of fun to follow you guys this year. And I know Brett and I are looking forward to a lot of good touchdown calls this fall. So we're looking forward to an exciting season, and I'm optimistic about where this team can go, and I think that we can take that next step up even over what we did last year. So good luck, and appreciate your time this afternoon. I am going to now turn to my right, and Anulis Clinton is with us, and thanks for joining us. And tell us a little bit about yourself and your role on the team, and what are your thoughts about the team this year?
Yeah, this is like my first year ever playing in Paragould football, and the experience has been very amazing. I've been, working well with the team, and right now I believe we are the best team, because if you don't believe you're the best team, then you're doing something wrong. But I think everything we do offensively and defensively is just all about our right techniques and how explosive we are, and
the one thing I had a chance to watch a couple of practices that you guys are really working on is trying to minimize pre-snap mistakes to make sure everybody knows the play, that we get a good handoff from the center quarterback exchange, and that we, put ourselves in a position to be successful. And like you said, we've got some good skill people, but we've got to have guys up front that can set the stage for that. And it's a lot easier to be successful and execute when you've got a little blocking in front of you. And I'm curious to ask you what you think the line looks like this year, and what is your expectations for the season as well?
I completely agree with you. Right now we're just working on our techniques and everything we've done throughout the season. We've just been working how we can react in a game perspective. We've been Coach Heston and Coach Wag, that's our defensive line and offensive line coaches. They've been doing a good job of keeping us on track and doing what we need to do up front, because we really need the dog, because last year we had amazing linemen, and right now I believe the linemen this year, we could really come off from what we were last year.
Looking forward to it. And listen, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Good luck. It's going to be fun to watch you guys all year on the Paragould Ram Sports Network. And we're going to transition over to my left, and we've got Austin Burden with us. And Austin, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I think you're one of our wideouts, and talk about your role on the team and your expectations for this year.
And we've really exceeded this year about running routes and stuff like that. Coach Whittle has really done a great job about keeping us in practice and pushing us to run better routes. And we've really focused on stock blocking a lot, because, we do like to run the ball. And those blocks become key blocks once you break off a good run. So I think this year, having us being sophomores, that was Coach Phil's first year. I think us having him as seniors has really just exceeded us, because we've had him for 3 years, as in nobody else has. So I think that's really helped us this year, really buy into the program and show how much of a difference that he really can make here. And, our X's, we've been working hard. The wings have been working great. Our tailbacks get better every day throwing the ball, and it's really great to catch passes from those guys. And like you said, it can't be done without our pass protection up front. You know, those guys are building a fence up there, and you know, it's really great because that's how we get the ball, and so all the praise really goes to them. And you know, we've improved every year that Coach Phillips has been here, so I'm really looking to. I think we're going to stun a lot of people this year coming into conference play. You know, we might. If we go 3-0 again, that'd be wonderful. But you know, those conference games is really where it stands at. We are looking for that 4th spot in the playoffs, really, because you know, a lot of teams are doubting us, but we have looked super good in team camp and everything like that. And I think, you know, we still need to fix a few things, but I think we've been really ahead of schedule as far as previous years. You know, we really look way ahead, and like we're ready to work our tails off.
Well, I think the effort has been there. And one of the things that we talked about with Avery is the fact that we, I think, are going to be a little bit more diverse in our offensive approach. And we've got the ability this year to do some things that we haven't done as well the last few years. And we've been known as a run-only team. And when we can spread the field a little bit, there's going to be some opportunities for big plays. If we can make one guy miss on the edge, we've got an opportunity for a big play. And we're going to get the defense thinking run, and we're going to get somebody wide open. And the key for us is going to be execution. Right. If we can execute plays when they're there, we're going to make some big plays.
Yeah, and we got a ton of guys that can just make plays. I mean, we have a lot of depth at X. I mean, we have me and Isaiah Flowers. Like Avery said, he's one of our strongest and fastest kids, and getting the ball in his hands is really going to be a great work. Alex Luke has amazing hands, and he's a pretty tall kid, and, you know, his numbers are definitely pretty good too. So, you know, getting the ball in his hands, and, you know, Amari Williams has really been putting in a lot of work on defense, but even on offense, he can contribute a lot because his hands are really great too. So, you know, we just have a lot of depth, and, you know, it's really going to help us a lot this year, being able to rotate some guys in and, you know, keep us fresh. So.
Yep. Well, I know you guys have worked hard in the preseason, and we've got the scrimmage game coming up week after next, and then the real season begins, I believe, on the 29th, and we got to go to Manila. So we've already told our fans to show up and be loud at Manila, and I know you guys got some more work to do, and continue to work hard in practice, and looking forward to watching you guys all year. So
yes, sir.
Let's see if we can't get over that hump a little bit and continue to progress each year, like you said, we've done under
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Phillips. So, Austin, thanks much. And now I'm going to turn my attention over to number 2, Mr. Zach Flowers. And, Zach, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to join us this afternoon. And tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your role on the team and what your expectations for this season are.
Hi, I'm Zach Flowers. I play wing back, and this year pretty much our expectations are just to go out and work as hard as we can and, you know, persevere through every game and through, you know, we've been working our butts off this whole off season, and, you know, I feel like we, you know, been working so hard that when we go out there, you know, we're going to shock so many teams. They're like, you know, wow, they put the work in to get here, and, you know, just looking for that spot to make it to the playoffs.
We started off last year 3-0. It's the first time in a long time that Paragould started off 3-0. And we had a game or two there. I thought, but the Batesville game I'd like to have over again. I thought that they came in here and got after us pretty good. And I'm not sure we were quite on task that night. But we had some opportunities in some of the other games. For instance, we gave up a late pass in Nettleton, like on the last play of the first half. Gave up a late touchdown there. And then I kind of go back to that last game against GCT when we had an opportunity to win the game and kind of let it get away from us there in the fourth quarter. My question is, how much did that inspire you guys to say, we've got to work harder in the offseason and I can't wait for next year to start?
Because, like, every team that we've played this year and, like, previous seasons, it's like Paragould's, like, it's been a standard that Paragould's the worst team in conference. Paragould's so bad, you know, every team that wants to play us, it's like, yeah, Paragould's a guaranteed win, Paragould's this and that, and I feel like after all those losses, it's been building us up, and Coach Phil, you know, working our tails off all season, and just been working hard in the weight room, on the field, and just putting the work in to just get better, and then just persevering through it all, you know, and then just thank the Lord for this opportunity to be able to, you know, just be here, because without Him, none of this would be possible, and it's just so, like, great, because, yeah, Coach put in the work for us, and we put in the work for Coach, and it's just a mutual thing. And
one of the things that I've kind of noticed, and that Coach Phillips his staff has built over the last couple of years, is sort of a sense of family camaraderie. And talk a little about how you view the team and how well you guys get along together, and kind of a little bit about that, because I think a lot of people are always curious. You need to have good team chemistry to have the chance to have a really good, successful season. And talk a little bit about that.
Us as a team, we might during practice, bump heads sometimes, but that builds us up, to be brothers. And we might not get along most of the time, but Coach Phil does a good job, and he tells us too that he might does it bad sometimes, but he corrects himself and corrects us as well. So, do better and then come together as brothers, and we should love each other. And when we're on that field, we're out there together. It's not just one person to make the whole team. We're all a team, and we should put the work in together, and we do it all during all season, and we bring it to the season and just work hard. That's all.
Well, I think our patrons ought to be real proud of the effort that you guys have put in since the end of last football season. You can tell you guys are a little bigger, a little stronger, and it's been awful hot out there the last couple of weeks. And so, but I really do get the sense for everybody watching tonight that this is a hungry group, and they want a chance to really get on the field and prove that they can take that next step and win some of those close games in the second half and get some W's in the league. And I think you guys probably would all agree we're ready to get out there and get after it. And like I said, we've got the first scrimmage game against Gosnell that will be here, I think, a week from Tuesday. Appreciate that. I know you guys do too.
Yes,
a lot of great
yes,
food here. We had a great turnout tonight. Thanks to Zach Ken, our orchestrator. And I'm Jimmy Dodd Jr. We're looking forward to a great season on the Paragould Rams Sports Network. Again, all of our sports. We talked golf, tennis, cross country, volleyball, and football. Good luck to all the teams, and please come support us. And again, you'll be able to keep up with a lot of it here on the Paragould Rams Sports Network. So for everybody here, good night, and go Rams. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Jesus loves y'all.